Everybody ready?
What are we doing?
We're doing our podcast now.
Season 7, Season 7, Season 7, Season 7, Season 7.
Do we have an interview today? Because we're now like the interview podcast. We had a broadcasting legend, Rod Smith, last week.
Mm-hmm.
We had Olympic gold medal winning curler, and now back to her second Olympics, Jennifer Jones.
Yep.
So we've kind of, after basically 6 seasons of just being us 4 chumps, people might have expectations now. Any ideas?
Yes. Roberto Luongo hasn't talked about you in a while. Probably should get him to do something.
Wow.
Maybe Brooksy, maybe a little.
It's a huge get. That would be huge.
What about Eric Stone Street? Or are we past that now?
I think we've got
gold news. It shows off the air. It's done.
Yeah. Screw him and the $697 or whatever it took to get him.
Call us when you're relevant again.
Stoff, I see you stuck with the curling background, eh? For a second, that's unlike you. Usually you change your background out with 2 days off.
If you remember, 2 days ago, you asked me to stay with the same background.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We welcome back Lester wait a second. We welcome back Lester on Tuesday. I never said welcome back Lester because I guess Jennifer Jones was there, but we missed you last week, Lester.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, I had a good week off and spent some time with my brother and everything, but I'll shout out to him, Mark McLean. But I did not watch the whole podcast with Rod, but I did see quite a bit of it, and I thought the stories about the Olympics were hilarious. So
Roddy's the best. Lester, can we talk about your background already? This feels like a bit of a flex background. We've not seen this from Lester before. He has about 8 guitars behind him. This is seems to me to be a signal to the ladies that I'm a musician. I can play various guitars, and I'm ready for you.
Well, you know what? They have been. That's sure Stoff was about to say. They have been in the background before, but not as prominent. I've changed the configuration of this room, and as such, they're a little more prominent now. But yeah, it's nice. I like them. Do
you notice some of our commentators have the careful placement of the guitar sometimes? I will note 2 of them. Ryan Rashog often places the guitar behind him whenever possible. Mike Johnson, also a placer of the guitar in the shot.
Yes.
MJ, I've never known. I don't know if I've ever heard of him playing the instrument. I know Rashad does fool around with it, but I don't know if MJ. I've never heard MJ say he's. Do
you think that's a boss move if you don't play guitar to put the guitar in the background for the illusions that you're a worldly musician? Puffy, should we try? Should I try that? Like when I'm doing insider trading from home?
Yeah.
Yes, you should try that. I think
Stratocaster behind me, Lester.
I think
so. Don't you have an acoustic, Jimmy? You have an acoustic, don't you?
If you need a guitar, Greg's son Mason is now in that business.
Oh, yes, he sells them.
Yes, high-end guitars and really
you know what?
And he sells them to broadcasters.
He should.
Greg was telling me.
He make a killing.
Sell them to rich guys who are having an identity crisis.
They don't even have to work.
Exactly.
No. Dregs was telling me when we were in Montreal that his son had just picked up some high-end Fender, like a 1969 Stratocaster, and he was doing really well with that business. So that's great, man. Listen.
Well, we should name the company of the business. Can you text? I guess I have to text Dregs, but I have to lose it here so I can get it before the end of the podcast. I'll do it.
Okay.
What is the name of Mason's? This is good podcasting right here. Aaron Drager, live texting on the podcast.
I love the look on the woman's face between James and Masai.
Your listeners have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh,
right.
So what do they see? What do the listeners see?
They would see that. They would see that. If they're listening, they wouldn't know.
No, our listeners have puzzled looks on their faces. Our viewers could see it. Yes, correct.
Oh,
yes, exactly.
I don't differentiate that way in the language. I just say words and I expect people to get the gist and figure out what I'm trying to say. That's how communication works.
For our listeners, when I disappear, like to send a text or something, my picture comes up of me, and I guess whatever, I don't know why does that photo come up?
I don't know. It's you and Masai
You must
talking.
have said it.
It's me and Masai talking after in Oakland after the Raptors won the championship. So I guess it's my flex photo for my name somewhere. I guess I think it might be my Twitter or Instagram or something photo. I don't know.
Now, did you? I think
it's my Tinder. It's my Tinder profile photo.
There you go.
Yeah. Do you know what's going on with what had went on with Masai at that point? Because I'm guessing that was after he had the incident on the floor.
Yeah. No, I did not. I did not know that. It didn't come out till afterwards. I think probably in the moment, there was a heated 30 seconds, but you've just won the NBA championship. So it quickly gets forgotten for the next couple of hours, and then comes up later. What an idiot that cop was! Excuse me, by the way.
100%. And a racist. No, this. Sorry, I got to put that in there. Very quickly, though, James.
Yes, sir.
I'm required.
I'm required to throw in a racist comment.
I'll get in trouble if I don't.
No, just very quickly. That Raptors championship. Where does it rank for you? I mean, you said the Olympics. I think was your greatest in 2010, but is that a close second, Raptors?
I don't know about. It's that's a great question. Yeah,
Tiger is going to be before
I had to answer that question because when I was doing the book tour the last year or whenever, you get asked that question a lot on podcasts and things, and I would say that the Olympics, I've always said 2010 is number one. I would say that's really close. Tiger winning the Masters in 2019, but the one thing about that, Puffy, is you and I've told the story many times about you and I being there when Tiger walked from 9 to 10 and the craziness in the crowd and Puffy yelling, "You got this, buddy!" or whatever you said.
I said something much cooler than that.
Like, yes. Come on, Tiger! But we were not there at the moment he won, right?
I was.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah.
See,
Nicole
physically,
I sneaked up the hill.
I was on our set a few hundred yards away, so I could hear it, but I couldn't see it. Whereas Lester with the Raptors, I'm right there watching it happen down on the court 30 seconds later. So, there's a little more of and I'm interviewing the players after where I'm not interviewing Tiger Woods. So the actual experience, I would say, plus the parade and everything that came after that, I would say the Raptors over that Tiger win. But they're very close. And there's been a bunch of Grey Cups. And one I always tell, when the Red Blacks won the Grey Cup, which people would say the Red Blacks winning the Grey Cup's on one of your top moments of all time. But I think I've said before on this pod, my dad was, the biggest Ottawa football fan ever. That's all I did with him growing up. It's all he talked about. He only bought black cars and then had red and white rally stripes painted on them my entire youth. He was insane.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. And or if it was a white car, it was black and red. And my friends still always joke that when they came over to my house, all he wanted to talk about was the Rough Riders / later Renegades, whatever. So my dad was already sick then, and he would end up passing away like a year later. But for them to win and for me to be on the stage handing out the Grey Cup to them and calling him after was a pretty darn cool moment. Just for that reason. But those are all up there. But the Raptors, I would say, it's pretty close number 2 to be part of that. TFC also was really cool. Like I like the sort of moments from different championships are just the coolest things, and I've been so lucky to be a small part of those. But anyway, why don't we get to the week that was?
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
I was in the city that rhymes with fun on the weekend.
I don't think we can say that anymore.
We can't say that anymore.
The city that rhymes with fun.
Regina.
I know.
I thought you didn't know. You got me. It was balmy. I got incredibly lucky. It was like 2 degrees and sunny, and it was a great game. I was a little disappointed with the crowd, frankly, but I think that's a bit of a COVID leftover for sure. It's happening in all sporting events, but perfect day in Regina. That worried me a little bit.
Not the whole crowd. Some pretty good fans at that game.
Oh yeah,
signs.
There was a
holding up signs.
There was
terrific fans.
Thank you for the prompt, because that's what I was actually trying to get to. So I'm sitting there. I'm in the booth, the TSN booth, and it's before the game, and I hear nothing, and I turn around, and I can't see the guy's face because he's holding his toddler, and the toddler has the sign, like John Cusack can say anything, holding the sign proudly above his head that says, "Where's Puff?" And I thought, what a moment. What a moment.
That is awesome.
My favorite kid in the world, every kid included.
Wow. Hey, Stoff, don't worry about it.
Years.
I'm sure people ask about us too.
Guaranteed.
No, he did. The guy then yelled out, "Say hi to Stoff and Lester as well." I mean that.
You didn't get that part. You couldn't tweet that out.
No. It was a visual. It was more the visual.
Very visual prop. And I'm happy they got my sign.
Good, listen, it's all good. I was going to say, if you're asking for Puff, that's a good thing for all of us, man. People are listening, which is great.
Oh, definitely. Now, did that sign make the actual broadcast?
It did not, because
how is that possible?
Come on, John Hines,
the people in the truck.
That would have been an obvious promo for them to make going to break.
Dropping the rubber boots. You're telling me you couldn't have done that in the second quarter?
Yeah, it was a pretty weak first half.
Yeah, like come on.
I think Heinze, if he saw the sign, also would have said, "Who's Puff?"
That's exactly what he would have said.
I think the question is now. I'm off to Winnipeg this weekend, where the Rubber Boots Pod is very big in Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. Does someone follow up with a sign?
I think so.
In the Winnipeg crowd, I would guess. Look, I don't know what we have listeners wise, like, I don't know, like 20,000 or something population of the country. That would be like 1% of the country, something like that. Maybe a little.
But those numbers seem about right.
Probably 75% of CFL fans in Winnipeg.
Yeah, right. Exactly, so a higher percentage of that. And so I would guess that in the crowd, let's say there's 30,000 in Winnipeg, there probably have to be, 3,000 hardcore Rubber Boots fans. That's 1%, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get like a group of guys who take their shirts off and it spells out Rubber Boots Pod?
Yes.
I'd love to see that.
So. And then you will do a meet and greet with those fans if they do that.
Obviously. Of course I will. I will have them to my room after for a few pops. Why not? Or even BetSafe. Just maybe the BetSafe logo.
That would be good.
When they take off the shirts, they got the BetSafe logo right on their boobies.
Nice.
That would be amazing as well.
That's breaking news.
BetSafe.net.
Well, the only other thing I want to say, first of all, thank you, Regina. Wonderful town. Super nice people at the game. Exciting football game in the end, overtime. What more do you want? The only more CFL-y thing that could have happened in that game is if Lawther missed the last kick and they had to punt it out of the end zone for the whole single.
Now,
and then they punted it back into the end zone.
I had a question for you guys. Could you just punt the ball through the end zone and win the game?
Well, I don't know if we've had that.
You should call Bump. Bump has to know.
Hey, and Bump will be on here in 3 seconds.
Let's try it.
Let's try it out. Let's call Bump
on. Let's call a friend. Get him on here. Like, why are they risking him hitting the upright and it not going in the end zone when they could just hammer a punt right through? Now, I know it's kind of a Bush League way to win, but I would also love for a Grey Cup to be decided that way.
That's what you would want to do, right?
Yeah. You take all the risk out.
Complete ignorance on this. I always thought you just had to get the ball into the end zone so the other team has a chance to either try to carry it out or kick it out. Mm-hmm. But being able to miss from the 10-yard line and win a game by a point, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I'm pretty sure that you could have punted the ball out of the end zone or had a missed field goal that went through the end zone or tackled the guy on the missed field goal and you would have won the game.
Yeah.
However, the way I think it should be is you should have to win with a field goal or touchdown. I don't think you should be able to win with a missed field goal or a punt single. Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, we won a touch football championship that way. We got to the 15-yard line, mm-hmm. and it was in a tie game with like 20 seconds left. And instead of kicking the field goal or going for the touchdown, we punted it in the end zone. And the opposing team was so bad because this was like beer league. Like, you're really gonna win. You're gonna win our beer league on a punt single. You're like, we're damn right we are.
That's why. Like, that's the first thing I always think of. I'm like, I don't care about how. Just get the win.
Look at this. Okay. Look at this. It's Bump, everybody. Welcome.
Hey,
special.
Bump.
See, I said we'd have another guest today. Now we've done Roddy, Jennifer Jones, Bump. Talk about that little triumvirate of guests back.
Talk about ending with the best.
We know you're busy. We won't keep you too long. But so Puffy asked this question, and as the host of the Grey Cup, I should probably know the answer, and I think I do, but I just want to make 100% sure. In the overtime, when Saskatchewan is kicking the field goal, if they missed the field goal but it went through the end zone, they win the game with the single, right?
Correct.
Right. And they could also, if they were a little bit closer, they could have punted through the end zone for the single as well, correct?
They could have done that, yes.
So why didn't they?
Out the back. Only out the back, though.
The field goal is safer. The field goal is safer, Puffy.
No, it's way more. Why is the field goal safer? Anyone can
the punt would be
the
safer
ball.
if you could just boot it through.
Yeah,
but at that, those guys could just boot it through the end zone from that
With
distance.
the-
Anyways, it's not like that was a 50-yard field goal.
32, 37?
Yeah, it was inside 40 yards. Like, he's getting that through the end zone anyways.
But
And
my
actually,
worry
Walker's
was
one of the best kickers in the league, so he's going to make that anyways.
But say he hit the upright, and then it wouldn't have gone in the end zone. That was the only way they could have lost.
True.
And that's why
Well, you could have hit the upright with a punt, too.
Well, do one of those Aussie rules one where you bootleg out and you kick it through.
I don't know. Just with a punt,
you're
20-yard end zone, you could have something could go off the side of the foot. You could get it high, and maybe it doesn't go all the way out. The other guy can kick it out. The field goal.
I think you're way overthinking this. Puff.
Sorry, hypothetically, if we're at a tie game, 10 seconds left in the fourth, we're on the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Can we just boot the ball through the end zone? No one has a shot at touching it, and we win the game by 1 point?
Yes.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that?
That is perverse.
It actually happened in my high school. In my last year of high school, our high school football team won it on a kickoff that went through the end zone because a guy botched it and it got kicked through the end zone, and we won the county title.
That's awesome.
Boom.
I already told the same story about my touch football league. Okay,
Yeah, but nobody cares about your stories anymore. After all
but
these
this was
years.
legit. This was a sanctioned county game.
Yeah, this is high school. This is a touch.
Yours was
football
like
with your
men's
buddies.
league.
Bump, you got to get lost now because we want to save your material for when we have you on the podcast next. When I can't make it, or Puffy can't make it, or Lester can't make it. Stoff, if he doesn't make it, the podcast is over.
There's no
All right.
pod. I've always said that. There's no pod.
Why don't we try to do one? Maybe I'll be too busy at like Grey Cup week, and then Bump is the actual host, and see if it goes better than when I'm not there with you three. Bump hosts the
That'd
pod.
be outstanding.
Bump hosts the pod.
During Grey Cup week?
Wow.
Oh no, Grey Cup week he's kind of busy. Maybe when I go to Turks and Caicos in January.
Nice.
If I host, can it be called the Rubber Chicken Podcast?
For sure.
The first rubber thing I could think of.
That was Bump, our special guest
Pick
this
me
week.
up, or do I leave?
No, you got to leave yourself.
You know, Jimmy has no idea how. You can actually stay till the end.
I don't know how to get rid of him. Let's see if I know how to get rid of him. Let's
Refuse
see.
to leave.
I got to leave
see.
button.
Stop.
Let's see who figures it out first. Oh, no, he's gone.
Sean. Oh, he's gone already?
I do have some CFL trivia for you guys.
Okay.
You guys say
Oh boy.
what the lowest scoring game in CFL history was.
1-0.
Ding, ding.
Name the teams in the year.
Toronto Argonauts.
I'm going to go Ottawa over Hamilton, 1961.
1966 Alouettes over the Ottawa Rough Riders. So
I was right decade, half right. I'm basically
no
right.
scoring except for a single in the fourth quarter after a missed field goal attempt. So
Was your dad at that game? Is that what made him a fan?
Yeah.
After watching that
Good
game,
thing we didn't have the rights back then.
he caught the ball.
can't miss next week.
I would have been consummated around then. It was probably after the 1-0.
That
Dad
was
got
probably
home.
the excitement.
Dad got
of the
home and
point.
said, "Sheila, that wasn't exciting enough. Get on over here. Come on, Sheila." Sorry, that's my parents we're talking about. I'm sorry. We better move on with the podcast. We wasted too much time. I did want to say one more thing about Regina. I stayed in the worst hotel I've ever stayed at, and Regina's a fine city. We just weren't at the greatest hotel, and the walls were the thinnest I've ever seen in a hotel. Okay, and let's just say there's some exuberant Rider fans, a couple. A couple. And so that was after the game.
Scoring rouges all night.
There was a lot of rouges. and then the fire alarm. I don't know if it was the same couple. They pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah.
And by the way, this has happened to me before, and I want to know if you guys have had this happen before. Why, in a situation where the fire alarm is pulled in a hotel, so this person comes on, I don't even move now, which is horrific because I will die in a hotel fire someday because I'm so used to fire alarms. I just pull the pillow over my head.
Stoff, save this clip.
Well, would it, Lester?
It's gonna be harder to find.
Lester, when the fire alarm is pulled at your hotel when you're on the road, do you leave to go? Do you go out of the hotel, or do you just stay in bed?
It's only happened to me once, and I don't think I left. I think I stayed in the hotel. You're right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone on this. Would anyone leave? Does any of you left?
Yes, of course you leave.
Of course you leave. I mean, and it's not just a hotel
fire
thing.
alarms up for.
It's not just a hotel thing. When I lived in an apartment building, this used to happen once or twice a week, and sometimes in the middle of the night. And you'd have literally everyone from the building downstairs with the fire.
And
sometimes it's fun.
This was
when you're a kid, maybe if you got to get up
single,
for work the next day.
If you're a child or single, maybe.
Yes.
But this sketchy hotel, I probably should have left, but I didn't. So then the fire alarm gets turned off after it dings for about 5 minutes. And then the person always comes on and says, attention, attention. We apologize for the fire alarm. It was a false alarm. A false alarm. We're sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, great. Roll over my bed. 10 seconds later. Attention, attention. Just wanted to repeat. It was a false alarm, false fire alarm. The building is safe. Sorry for your inconvenience. 5 times. 5 times.
No.
Once a minute over a 5 minutes.
But to be fair, that's for the people who actually took action.
Yes.
They're like out in the hall panicking.
Yeah.
I don't care about them. I care about the lazy ass people that stay in bed.
Now, James,
it's probably regulation.
Did your friends next door stay throughout the fire, or did they? Leave?
But that was the problem. Is that they were rejuvenated.
Really?
Yes.
Near death experience sometimes makes people a little more amorous.
A little warm. Wow. Let's get to. We haven't even started this yet, so we better get moving. This is Stoff's great outline of the podcast, and it begins with Betsy breaking news. Stoff, you're supposed to do that with me.
Yeah. He's still rattled.
I didn't know which one you're going to do here. All right.
Betsy breaking news.
Breaking news.
All right,
brought to you by
gentlemen.
our friends at betsafe.net.
Are you guys tired of onions that make you cry?
This is a new read.
Yeah, this is a new sponsor. Tearless onions are here.
I'm like, ooh, I can get some of those.
Gentlemen, let me tell you about the Sunyon. It's a new onion that has been named and took 30 years to develop using old-fashioned crossbreeding. So basically a company has created onions, has bred onions that now will not make you cry when you cut them.
Wow. Do they make red onions?
You know, I didn't delve that deep into it. They basically crossbred a bunch of onions that don't make you cry as much. So, I mean, is this... So, an initiative like this, is this actually worth it? Is this actually worth doing 30 years worth of work in order to get here?
It's like rather than work on cancer.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I appreciate the science of it, I guess, but listen, I mean, onions make you cry, that's just the way it is. What's next? The bean that doesn't make you fart? I mean, come on. Stop fooling around with food.
Can't stay fart. Stoff doesn't can't say fart on the podcast. I don't know.
It's toot.
It's greenhouse gases.
Sorry.
Things have really changed.
Wind? Is that better?
Yes, that's really good. Break wind. Toot. Did your mom ever have any cute names for? So my mom for pooping when I was little, she called it a jobby.
A jobby. I'm picturing like some British police officer walking around the beach.
No,
little
jobby. She said, I'd be like, Mommy, I got to go to the bathroom. And she said, do you have to have a jobby? What is that? Is that just my family? Does that come from something?
That's just your family. I never heard that in my life.
Those are the early seeds planted for daddy bath time.
Yeah, I think my mom used to say dirty bums. Do you have dirty bums?
Dirty bums.
It's a little more sense.
You just needed to wipe, I think.
I was like 11.
Yeah.
Do you have to go doo-doo? Do you have to do a doo-doo? That's my problem.
I think if you Google dirty bums now, you can have something different come up probably.
Yeah.
Make that.
You gotta cut that too?
Yeah. The internet.
Duty, maybe we can use duty.
Anyway, I think we decided here on BetSafe Breaking News that it wasn't worth the trouble for the onions. I'll ask Brooksy though. She's always sobbing over the onions. So
our friends at the Sunyon would like you to know that Sunyons are preferred 5-1 to regular onions.
Really?
Oh, there you go.
I don't like the name. I don't like the name.
Is a Sunyon a company? Is Sunyon a company? Like they call it, hey, Sunyons, we're Sunyon, like
right, or at least that's the brand name for this particular onion.
Oh, okay.
Some other company might own it.
Sunyon. All right.
Maybe you can steal the idea and just call them rubber onions.
Rubber onions.
Wow.
Why don't we go to things that I saw on the Twitter?
Alrighty. Let us go.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Well, about 18 years ago.
Nipplegate.
Nipplegate. We're talking Janet Jackson.
Hold on. We're going to be this is going to get canceled. We're going to be editing this out anyway.
Just go on to the next thing. That was things that I saw.
No, we're doing it, damn it. We're doing it. Since there is something to react to here, we're going to do our rubber boots.
React.
We have an update to this 18-year-old story where obviously Janet Jackson exposed her breast.
Mm-hmm.
Her breast was exposed by Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, they both exposed their breasts, super planned.
Yeah.
Come on. So anyway, basically her stylist from that year has come forward to say that the way they do the Super Bowl is they actually tape the rehearsal performance and they keep that tape stashed in case something goes wrong in the actual performance. Boom, they hit the switch and everything looks fine on TV. Okay. And so that he claims they should have cut to the rehearsal.
No one knows this. You ready for this? When you do the Super Bowl, this is the secret. You shoot it twice. You shoot the performance twice because the first time you shoot it in case the satellite goes down and they have to cut to the original rehearsal. So they had a second performance that the minute that happened, they could have pushed the button and cut to the tape, and they didn't.
Do you guys buy that? Do you actually think that?
No.
Because the rehearsal wouldn't have fans in the stands, right?
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance I buy that.
Puffy, that even from a TV perspective, like, okay.
How would you do that?
Too inside baseball with the four of us here. But so what they're saying is basically you would have to roll that tape. It's not tape anymore. It's all digital, but you'd have to have it running at the same time as the actual performance.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't really make sense.
They do like a Grey Cup every year. Like I'm usually have to be in the truck late on the Saturday night and they do the rehearsal for whichever band's playing. And they do it for blocking and getting all their shots, but they do record it. So, I mean, I guess there is a way but I don't ever remember seeing them do like start to finish of a song. So I don't think they would ever have it in place but maybe the Super Bowl would be different. But
the Super Bowl show, okay, they do the same thing. I think the day before, 2 days before, for sure. But again, there's so many wide shots and drone shots and such of the, and everyone's got those bracelets in the stands. So there's no chance it's the same. There's no chance you could just hit a button and roll the same thing. Okay, maybe they record it for the sense of if something went horribly wrong, like the stage collapsed or the mics didn't work, and then you could do it that way. But there's no way it's that guy doesn't know. The guy doesn't. It's somebody talking who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
they roll this.
No, I don't buy it.
If it's something as bad as what you're saying, where the stage collapses or whatnot, they would probably just cut the feed and go to break because.
I don't mean like in a.
I just find it unlikely
death thing, but it's. I think that's. Yeah. It just shows you that they can interview one person who thinks they have knowledge and they don't have knowledge and ends up going viral.
And like the stylist, I did hear an interview with him where he said that the plan actually was for it to happen what happened, but they were supposed to cut to black so that no one at home would see it.
Also, people in attendance would get the nipple.
Would see it, yeah. But that was supposed to happen because he was all pissed off because of they said. I think it was Timberlake said it was a wardrobe malfunction, and he was like, "That's basically saying I screwed up, and there was no wardrobe malfunction. It did exactly how it was designed to do. It was supposed to, I sewed everything, I cut it did. Her dress did exactly what it's supposed to do, and they just folded on it because they didn't want to take the heat. But I think it was supposed to be artistic, and instead, if it didn't get caught on camera, it wouldn't have been a thing."
Oh, of course. That's most things in life.
And so the guy who screwed up though was the person who was supposed to cut the black, or the director, or the TD, or whatever.
Look, I don't buy it. I don't buy any of that. But to me, here, I got a couple of things to say. Number one, it's a very unfortunate incident. It has always bothered me that she's sort of taking the brunt of the heat. Meanwhile, Justin's escaped pretty much scot-free about this. It's always bothered me. Number two,
he has been dragged for the way he abandoned her 100%, I think.
But look at their career. Look at their career trajectory, what he's done since and what's happened to her. Like, don't get me wrong, she's still done quite well, but like it's not even close. Like he's still a major star, and he's younger too, I suppose.
He was younger and going that way, and she was sort of at the height.
I think that plays into it too. But no, the immediate reaction, Lester's 100% right.
Yes, for sure.
And Justin definitely never stood by her. However, the one thing I'll point out, she was 100% a willing participant in this. This wasn't a guy grabbed her and just exposed her.
I mean, I think the whole thing is totally blown out of proportion. But unfortunately, it's the Super Bowl. The second thing I will say, and I don't know if this is a theory that's been explored. I'm sure it has been, but wasn't that right around the time when her brother was in a lot of trouble for the second child molestation trial, and perhaps could have been her way of trying to deflect some heat off of her brother? I don't know. I mean,
that's
it was
possible,
right around that time. The Jackson name at that point had already been in such a bad place. I just don't know why she put herself in that position in the first place. She didn't need to do that.
I think her and Justin and their labels got together and figured that this would be a great thing to plan that everyone would be talking about the next day.
Yeah.
I don't think they realized the backlash they would receive. I don't think people realized they realized how angry people would be over it.
Because the lyric is "I'll have you naked" by the end of the song, right? And I think it sort of made sense that they would do that. And I think they thought if people are far away who are in the stadium, they're not really going to be able to see anything. And people at home aren't going to see it because it's going to go to black. So, okay, this is going to be so funny. It's going to be this buzz. And then it went everywhere and it turned bad for them.
Hey, I don't think, I think a lot of this is conspiracy theory stuff. I don't think there's any chance that they thought that was going to be on television. I don't know about going to black because why would you go to black? Like maybe go to a wide shot or something, Puffy, above the stadium, and they cut it wrong. But I really think that no matter what some people have said, that there's a chance that they did have some, maybe it was like a skin color, like it was supposed to look like it. I do believe that it wasn't supposed to happen that way. I truly believe that, because that was what you're saying, Stoff, is the dumbest miscalculation you could ever make.
Yeah.
And especially with the...
She had a star covering her nipple, dude. That was the planned move. There's no...
Oh, she did have a... She didn't. Yeah. She did have a star.
Yeah, she had a special star thing made for her nipple.
Okay.
Just so that when the thing came off, you could not see her nipple.
Yeah. But I thought you could see
her. But that came off.
No, you did see her nipple. No, the star came off. No, there was no star on the nipple.
Hold on. I'm going to Google the pictures.
This has reached its peak. This is not even why I brought the story up.
If they were supposed to cut to black, then the entire production team and the director would have to be complicit in it, and they would have never gotten the go-ahead for this. So none of it makes sense. Except I guess Stoff's part makes sense that it was just Janet and Justin and their teams that decided this would be good. But
a lot of people would be in on that. That camera was there for a reason.
No, they would not. CBS. That's the dumbest.
That's the end of the tune.
But I don't know. The one thing is, do you think the TV execs, after it went south, were going to step up and be like, "Oh yeah,
exactly." No one's they're like afterward. Basically, the way, to Lester's point, the way they made Janet wear it, that's probably not just Justin. That's a whole lot of people that were responsible.
They're so conservative though in television. I have my doubts that this would have gone all the way to the top and they would have known this would happen. Like American network television,
Fox
doesn't matter.
Home of 90210, pretty edgy stuff.
Were you there, Jimmy?
They were talking
about the time. Were you?
What Super Bowl is that?
38.
I think maybe I must have missed that because you're right. I probably would have known I was there because I was at 02, 03, 05. I don't know. Anyway, this is really good podcasting. Sorry.
Yeah. Great podcast.
Sorry, listeners.
When you're there, do you always watch the halftime show?
Yeah. And the one thing I'll always say is that usually it sounds much better in the stadium. And when I'll go on, social media and people will be ripping it at home, and I'll have been in the stadium, it's often a lot better show, I think, just because it's like a concert. And it's I still think one of the great challenges they have, specifically in a setting like that. It's one thing different when you have Adele doing a concert with one mic in front of 200 people in LA. But when you have like a quick setup and a band playing, I still think that television struggles to capture the sound properly to the home audience, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So most of the shows are decent inside the stadium.
It was the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I was not at that. I was not at that one. No,
the reason I brought this whole thing up was just to touch on the Janet thing. However, there was one thing I've always remembered from this Super Bowl more than the Janet thing, and it's the one thing everyone's forgotten. There was a streaker at that Super Bowl that right after the halftime show went down onto the field in a referee's uniform, fully dressed like a ref. Ripped it off on national TV, did like an Irish jig, ran around for a while, and finally got tackled by a Patriots player.
He got on TV for that.
There was a right as he, I think, rips the stuff off. They cut from him basically.
Oh, okay.
I do remember catching a part of it. So basically, this guy pulled off one of the biggest stunts at the Super Bowl, being able to actually streak at the Super Bowl, being able to do it at a kind of a key moment, just coming out of halftime. So basically, I got to wondering, how was he able to pull this off? And I found an interview that he did a couple years ago where he actually talked about it. And he reveals that he was sponsored to go there by goldenpalace.com.
I'll interrupt you. This guy is the most famous streaker ever, Mark Roberts.
He's one of them. He's gone in all kinds of
he's
yes,
golf events. He's done it all sorts of time. And it's always been goldenpalace.com on his ass or whatever, right?
And this would have been his biggest, I guess.
Right.
Today, cool. Right? So he gets sponsored, but the thing I found most interesting was that he emailed the league saying he's from the UK and that people are really starting to get into NFL over there, and if they could send him a couple referee uniforms, which they did. They sent him 2 official NFL referee uniforms. And so basically what he did is he put that over his naked body, put regular clothes on top of that. He ended up basically taking the clothes off, jumping down from where he was, running onto the field. Wasn't really noticed because he was dressed as a referee. He actually said he noticed a lot of players were just puzzled when he stripped. They thought one of the refs had completely lost it.
Wow.
And there also seemed to be hesitation from the cops and the security guards to first get him. And so he says he started like doing the river dance, and you couldn't believe how long he was able to do it for. And then eventually they started chasing him around. Matt Chatham knocked him over, and the cops finally got him. But pretty epic.
Everyone was never remembered.
Well, that's just it. But this guy got completely naked, and we saw, a covered up.
So I'm surprised he pulled it off. I guess the ref's outfit did it because after 9/11, since 9/11, the security at Super Bowl has been intense. We probably go through 6 checkpoints to get into the stadium. And I'm talking like we're 3 different metal detectors and such. And the amazing thing is I think 2 years when your Eagles, the year that your Eagles won the Super Bowl, Stoff. Mm-hmm. So we're up in the stands in the auxiliary press box, and it's myself and I think in this particular case, our late friend Chris Schultz was not there. It was me, Jabari, and Jesse Palmer. So there is a path, like they tape it out on the ground or paint it, the path that you have to take for the media to get down to get onto the field. And, it's hundreds of yards through staircases and stuff, whatever. So usually a big herd of the media gets taken down by our PR people with 8 minutes left, but we always like to watch the end of the game and then make it down ourselves. So my wife bought my mom's boyfriend a set of slippers in a box, and every day Hugo comes in and pulls the box out of my office. It's a ritual, and I'm kind of enjoying it right now. If he does it, if he's successful, I'll show you. There's Hugo down there. He's got his ass in there trying to get the box. Let's see if he can pull it out. So anyway, this drunk guy sees Jesse, and I'm sure he doesn't recognize me. I'm not so big in the States, but he obviously recognizes Jesse or maybe Jabari, and he wheels in behind us. And I sort of glanced over his shoulder. I get, good luck, buddy, because we're going pretty fast. He just tucked his beer into his coat. He just had his ticket on him. So we have these passes. He made it past. Now we're not going through metal detectors now, but about 6 different security checkpoints. He made it all the way down to the last one before we went on the field. And wow. I wasn't even talking to the guy. I just kept looking over my shoulder, and he was still there, and he's giggling his ass off. and he was the last person stopped him from getting onto the field, which is kind of scary from a security standpoint.
Yeah,
because I guess
did you rat him out?
I did.
He did.
Did you give the old?
James was like,
I would look at. I was going to. I didn't want the guy to come on the field because I knew he wasn't going to do any harm. But at the same time, so I was probably about to say something to someone, and I saw a security guard grabbed him. But I think we're going fast and we're just flashing our passes, and so these security guys are like, yeah, they must know where they're going, and they just let us go. And this guy, he made it so close. Then he probably ended up getting arrested because of it.
For sure.
Whereas if he got stopped at the first checkpoint, he just would have been kicked out.
That's where you pull the old, well, my tickets aren't down here. I thought I was, my bad.
What seat do you have?
Yeah, exactly. You're probably right. He probably made it out. But
this is in section 613.
Ballsy move. We're probably running low on time here. Hey, Stoff, we've been going for a while. Do you want to do a couple more of your things?
Oh, I always want to do more of my things. So we have this video here that proves the world's not flat, I guess.
Yeah, I found that one.
Wow.
You did? It may have been tweeted out there by others, but sure.
Well, me and Rex chat.
But you helped set up the camera that did it. Basically, the Earth's rotation visualized by stabilizing the sky over a 24-hour period. So it shows you...
I did not understand it. I did not understand.
My understanding is that the camera stays still in the air while the planet rotates.
Oh, so it was like a drone that was like in the air, not moving.
It's stabilized in one spot while the actual planet moves.
Wow.
Oh, interesting. How would you do that?
Very cool.
I don't know.
How do you stabilize something in the air with nothing fixing it to the ground? It's
Black
fascinating.
magic, probably.
Seems like it's pretty easy, but it's very difficult.
What's this thing about the links? You got a couple linkses in here, Stoff?
Yeah, well, this is, I read it on Reddit, and I was reading about some linkses.
I read it on Reddit. Yeah.
Our feline friends, and this particular video had two lynxes face-to-face, and it was captioned as such. Two lynxes have a serious discussion about mating. A male and female lynx are engaged in assessing whether mating is an option. Given the time of the year this encounter, which would place the female at a disadvantage regarding her prime fertility window, she signals it is already too late.
Ooh.
Crushing.
I've seen that
for our male.
Who among us hasn't had this happen, right?
Yes.
About 5 to 2.
I was going to say the video has no audio, but we've all seen that look.
Oh, yes.
Indeed, we've seen it.
I'm going to tell some Brooksy stories, but I'm going to be more respectful today.
Yeah.
And that concludes the things I saw on Twitter.
No, I have a question for you. Is it really lynxes? Wouldn't it be lynx? Just like moose?
Lynx eye.
Moose? Lynx? Lynxes.
I'll
Lynxes
right
doesn't sound right. Two lynxes.
Plural.
Two
would
lynxes.
be lynx.
I think I'm betting it's going to be lynx as well.
Or lynxers. Two
Can't have
lynxes.
lynx.
Call a
I saw
group
two
of
lynx the
lynx
other day.
a litter. That does not answer.
A litter of
anything.
lynx. Litter.
Well,
Plural of lynx.
baby.
Just say plural of lynx. It's not a hard Google.
Dude, I
Plural
literally
of
wrote
lynx.
that, and this is what comes
Plural
up. It starts telling
of
me
lynx.
lynxes.
Two lynxes.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, actually, it's listed as both plural lynx and then or lynxes. So you're right.
Either way.
I like that.
Lynxes.
We're always
Lynxes.
Is the lynx a dangerous cat?
Yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
Well, it depends who you are.
Is it more dangerous than like the leopard?
No, I take a leopard over a lynx in a fight.
What about a panther?
Well, Panther
crushes both of them.
Panther is a beautiful animal,
absolutely.
but I think it would smash me pretty good.
Oh, for scores.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Is
it as we knew growing up? Can the lion eat the tiger and the tiger eat the panther? Lion top, right?
Lion top. Yeah, lion's king of the
tiger.
jungle.
What about a
King of
poisonous snake?
No. We're just talking about
cats. Follow
We're
along.
Talking about cats.
Talking about the feline family.
Only a cat family.
Stop trying to confuse us.
See what? Who's turning blue now? Okay, so you got
I'm talking about cats.
Then we got tiger,
panther,
then panther,
black panther,
the cheetah, black panther. Is there another kind of panther?
I think there's a rare white panther. You see them in the snow in like Southeast Asia. The white panther.
Pink
What about
panther,
what about
pink panther?
What about a snow leopard?
Ooh, snow leopard.
Well, but on what terrain though?
Snow leopards are usually dangerous at the bar.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
That I did.
What are the
I think there was one of them in the room next to me in Regina.
She was in her natural habitat.
Okay, so
rhymes with fun.
lion, tiger, panther, cougar's
got to be up there.
Leopard.
I think the cheetah's like last because it's fast. That's it. I
think the house cat is last.
The cheetah's going to beat the house cat.
I don't know. Yeah. Some of those house cats.
It goes lynx and then house cat. Lynx is just above the house cat.
They got those nails and stuff. Cheetah. All I've seen a cheetah do is this.
I thought we'd fallen off before.
I used to watch the Lynx all the time.
An advertisement for the YouTube version of the pod. You need the gestures to really go with it. The listening is not enough.
I don't think a lynx might be not very dangerous or very dangerous. I'm really not sure.
They weren't dangerous at all. That's why they got replaced by TFC.
Oh,
that's seriously. That should get you kicked off the pod.
1 week suspension.
Wow.
Are there any cats we're missing? Maybe people can send us some write-ins.
Please.
Members of the feline family that we did not include in our competition. I think should we do listener mail or should we get the hell out of here? Because I think we did it all the time.
I mean, maybe listener mail can redeem us a little bit.
All right, quickly, listener mail. Is there a theme for that?
Listener mail.
Listener mail. Listener mail. Thank you for listening.
All right, Ricky Schmidt writes in, and she basically sent us a list of recipes just in time for Christmas. They are all aspic recipes. So,
you know why she sent that in? Because I was on the Overdrive program, and I know we discussed aspic, of course, on the podcast. And I think just in another excuse to plug the podcast, I mentioned aspic because it was Thanksgiving on the weekend, and American Thanksgiving. And I'd seen a thing about weird foods, and so I talked about aspic again. And a lot of people were disgusted. A lot of Overdrive listeners by the aspic. So thank you, Ricky, for meat aspic is the next level aspic, though.
I think they're all bad. I mean,
yeah, they're all bad. It's a horrible thing. Even my mother's admitted that she tortured us.
She's come around on it now. She's anti-aspic.
Yeah.
What was Jeff Krause? Did you find out why the taxis in London wouldn't take Duthie and Rod Smith to their hotel?
It's funny. You said that, and I didn't understand why. And then, so I intentionally listened to that segment again. And Puffy, in the middle of the segments, Rod is saying, "So Jimmy, they wouldn't take the taxis, wouldn't take us on the other side of the Thames." And Puffy clearly says, "What is it? A sketchy neighborhood?" And me and Roddy both ignore him and just move on with the podcast.
Yeah. Guess who else wanted to know?
Hurts, doesn't it, Puff?
Jeff Krause.
Puffy finally getting a dose of what Lester's entire life has been like on the podcast.
It's not all signs at football games, Puffy.
It's not all fancy.
The answer,
that's why it was a sketchy neighborhood.
The answer, Jeff and Puffy, is no. I don't believe that's why. And we should have got Roddy to answer it, but I think it was because of the Olympics that there were some road closures leading to the other side of the Thames, and so the taxi cabs didn't want to waste their time going that far. That's my belief.
But one guy,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so now they have Uber.
We had asked for some suggestions for our new show replacing Rubber Squid. Troy
I thought you were going to say replacing this show.
Well, that's definitely a possibility.
That's next week.
Troy Forst said flight attendant. I didn't like the flight attendant. I didn't care for it
too much either.
It just got too stupid for me. I liked the first episode and then it got stupid.
Yeah, the concept was good. I just think there was an element of luck to it too much. Like she lucked into way too many things, and that's
it just got dumb. Jeff Laughlin, Yellowstone again.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Love the Yellowstone. And Victor Sum writes in, if you like Squid Games, you should check out Alice in Borderland. A similar premise, but more character development and better games. It's a Japanese show.
Also based on Murder Island.
To that, I wanted to add Did you?
Oh,
guys,
the
one of you,
YouTube.
did one of you guys?
I think I sent it. A YouTube of Squid Games.
After
I know where you're going.
Hold on. After being late to the Jennifer Jones interview, Puffy's trying to make up for it by listing everything he sent.
I did that. That was me.
You said that thing about the real life Squid Games.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I didn't get
very well known.
100%.
Is Mr. Beast just a famous guy who's gotten rich?
He's a
off
huge, famous YouTuber. Yeah,
because this Squid Games he pulled off must have cost a fortune. Lester, did you watch it?
I did see it. Yeah, great.
He probably makes I think like $4 million a month on YouTube. But he spends like $4 million a month making videos for the next.
So he's basically what you would be if you ever got successful.
Exactly, except I'd sell 5.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. So shout out to that dude, even though I don't know who the hell he is.
So to explain to our listeners.
Why start now?
We're literally talking about this as something we all know already. It's like, yeah, that was good.
I said.
That's the important part. Puffy sent it. Basically, this guy recreated the Squid Games, and the total prize money wasn't $60 million, but it was $456,000.
Yeah.
So I guess $1,000 for each participant. The participants wouldn't die, unfortunately. Very disappointing. However, so I guess putting the games together, and they looked pretty legit.
Yeah,
believable. It cost quite a bit more too. My only thing is this: that's the only clip where I've seen of that. Has anyone seen the actual full thing, or is there any of that?
I haven't seen the whole thing, but I will get it to you for next week.
Okay, if you can, that'd be great, because I just don't understand why you would go through spend all the money.
Yeah, no, he did a whole thing.
Oh, he did.
Hold on.
Okay.
Did you? How long was the clip you sent? Because I watched like a half an hour.
Oh no, my
God! The clip you sent was like it was just a couple quick clips that showed parts.
Yeah,
of it.
like a minute.
Oh no, I was like, did they do the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing, except I haven't finished it yet. I got to marbles, but yeah, they did do the entire thing.
It has 124 million views in 5 days.
Yeah,
we should do this again.
We should really do it. We should. If you let's see if we can.
Can you imagine our half-assed version of Squid Games?
The bad part was people would die from accidents.
It's just us trying to do rock paper scissors on Zoom.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
Okay.
People there.
This has been a disaster. We thank you for
tolerating us.
And we'll see you next week. I think I'm around again next week. It's getting busy. Jimmy's busy month ahead, so we might have to skip a week somewhere along the way in here.
Could be a hiatus. But for now, we'll keep rolling along on the Rubber Boots podcast. Thank you to our friends at bedsafe.net. Welcome back, Lester. We missed you last week. Stoff, good luck with this thing, because you're going to be editing this for 3 days.
Good luck with all that stuff.
Good luck, Stoff. Why don't we?
That Jennifer Jones episode for the whole week will suffice. We'll release Bump tonight, the Bump CFL talk tonight, and Jennifer Jones is now the main pod.
This show is just going to be the intro, and then thank you for listening.
This show is turning into a job.
Face is just going to flicker on the screen, and it's going to
next week.
Maybe we'll get Puff back on, see if he knows. No, Puff. Sorry.
This thing's coming apart faster than I can edit it together.
Did I leave the pocket? Did I die?
I'll do it again.
Is this what my heaven is? I must be in hell.
Hold on. Maybe we get Bump back on. He'll know. It's a good line. It's a good line.
Killed it, Jimmy.
It's a good line.
I love it when we kind of improvise a bit. It's fun.
Of course. It's what it always should be.
No one's ever sent me a script.
This is JD's podcast. JD's Rubber Boots podcast. We're going to sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're going to play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're going to have a laugh. We're going to have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?